Ronda Rousey, one of the most dominant fighters in UFC history, recently opened up about the self-destructive thoughts she battled before her devastating loss to Holm. In her memoir, Our Fight, Rousey reflects on the overwhelming internal struggles that clouded her mind leading up to UFC 193, a night that would change her career forever. Back in 2015, Rousey was on top of the MMA world, holding an undefeated record with 6 straight UFC wins. She had just knocked out Bethe Correia in 34 seconds and was enjoying the peak of her success. But when UFC CEO Dana White called her with an urgent request to step in as the main event after Robbie Lawler withdrew, Rousey felt a deep exhaustion rather than excitement. She described the moment as the first time in her career when she didn't feel ready to fight. Despite her doubts, Rousey agreed to the fight, feeling bound by loyalty to White and the UFC. However, as fight night approached, her mental struggles intensified. She was consumed by intrusive thoughts, dwelling on past pains, and the fear of losing everything she had built. Even superstitions got to her. When her hairdresser mentioned that an itchy palm was bad luck, Rousey couldn't shake the feeling of impending doom. The pressure was mounting. With an intense training schedule, her mother's open disdain for her coach, and the weight of being UFC's biggest star, she found herself repeating the mantra, "Be the best on your worst day." But the doubts persisted. On the night of the fight, the signs of trouble continued. She tripped on her way to the octagon, a first in her career, and had to use an ill-fitting mouthguard. As the fight began, it quickly became clear that Holm was different from her past opponents. She stayed on the outside, dodging Rousey's attacks and landing precise counters. Rousey, known for overwhelming her opponents, struggled to impose her will. By the end of the first round, her mouth was bleeding, and she felt lost in her corner, unable to hear her coach's instructions clearly. Then came the second round. Holm, composed and tactical, found her moment. A perfectly timed left hand rocked Rousey, followed by a head kick that sent her crashing to the canvas. The fight was over. The undefeated champion had fallen. That loss marked the beginning of a new chapter in Rousey's career, one filled with soul-searching and eventual transitions into WWE and Hollywood. Though she briefly returned to the octagon in 2016, another brutal loss to Amanda Nunes ended her MMA career for good. Now, years later, Rousey reflects on that night with deep honesty, sharing the unseen battles that played a role in her downfalls. With recent training footage surfacing online, fans speculate about a possible return. Whether or not she ever steps into the cage again, Rousey's legacy as a trailblazer in women's combat sports remains undeniable. Stay subscribed for more videos.